The spirit of San Diego Sabers is all about helping others and encouragement through training or life or whatever that may be. And it's not just in training too. There's a lot of friendships and like a familial bond that forms when you come here. And I think that's really important, and that really exemplifies what we're all about. These are the top things to know about San Diego Sabers. The 4 tenets of the warrior in San Diego Sabers are focused but not fixated, aware but not distracted, confident but not prideful, and driven but not obsessed. These are not only aspects to observe and be aware of in combat, but also in life as well. Like with most things, moderation is applicable and important in everything that you do, and those aspects can be noticed in combat as well. Say, for example, being focused on what you and your opponent are doing, but not to the point of fixation where you miss subtle cues in combat. Here at San Diego Sabers, we use rankings, titles, and honorifics to kind of distinguish people that have accomplished certain tasks and have proven themselves to be ready to teach and train others. It starts at a base level with a youngling. That'd be someone who's under 13 years old. An initiate is someone who is at least 13 and maybe had just joined the group and has been training for maybe a few months or so. A Padawan is someone who has a dedicated instructor and is working their way towards knighthood. A knight aspirant would be someone who is ready to take their trials or is in the middle of taking their trials. A knight is someone who has passed these trials and is ready to take on a student of their own. Someone with the rank of master has proven that they are not only capable of teaching, but are also capable of improving their own form and martial application as well. These can take on a number of students. A battle master is someone who is in charge of teaching and writing curriculum for the school itself. For the other ranks, visit sandiegosabers.net. There are 7 basic traditional forms of lightsaber combat, and at San Diego Sabers, we teach all of them. Kind of. Let me explain. Shi-cho, or Form 1, is essentially swordplay fundamentals, or swordplay 101 if you will. It teaches you a good foundation and structure for not only offensive and defensive motions, but for stances, guards, blade positioning, and other things that are just generally universal with any form that you may be practicing. Makashi is sometimes known as the duelist form. Really precise, tight, and controlled blade work that doesn't use a lot of kinetic energy to overwhelm your opponents, but instead picks apart their guard and snipes, if you will, at openings very quickly. Sorisu is pure defense. Essentially, you are a wall, and your opponent tries to overcome it, but fails, when practiced correctly. Ataru, in contrast to Sorisu, Ataru is Form 4, and it's pure offense. The defense of this form comes through your constant motion and constant offensive assault. This can be very physically draining, which is why another form is usually practiced first before Ataru is attempted. Form 5, Gemso, is all about aggressive motions and countering your opponent through aggressive blade work and pressing the offense towards them. We don't talk about Shien very much. Don't do Shien. Form 6 is Naiman, also known as the Jack of all trades. Essentially, it incorporates a few aspects of every other form of combat to essentially give you a wide tool belt of options when you find yourself in the middle of combat. You have a lot to respond with, but you really shouldn't match it with something that your opponent's already good at. For example, if you know a little bit of Makashi and your opponent is really good with Makashi, or even a Makashi purist, don't try to use your Makashi knowledge when practicing Naiman. The 7th form is Juyo. It can be a misconception that this form is called Vapad. That's not true. In fact, Vapad doesn't really exist in real life. As in the actual Star Wars universe, Vapad completely relies on usage of the Force to be able to be performed. Ergo, it's not possible in real life. But Juyo is all about high-risk, high-reward motions with an unorthodox twist to overwhelm your opponent and beat them into submission. At San Diego Sabers, we take safety very seriously, which is why we have a set list of protective gear that we require for people that want to spar or even just do drills. Probably the most important piece of protective gear that we require is some sort of head protection and face protection, usually found in a fencing mask, as this is a really good way to protect both your head and your face for a decent price, but still be adequately protected. Next would be some kind of hand protection, because if you've seen Star Wars before, that tends to be a target. So we require something like hockey or lacrosse style gloves. Should you have genitals on the outside of your body, a cup is also a good... Damn it. I couldn't say that. That's pretty much it as far as what we demand or absolutely require. Some other good options, of course, would be a gorget, a cup, chest protection, elbow guards, things of that nature. As far as the type of atmosphere we'd like to foster here, when it comes to being competitive, that's certainly fine, but we do want to err on the side of respect more than anything else. Be respectful to your combatants, be respectful to the judges, and just each other as a whole. Be sure to salute your opponent before and after each match, and even beforehand, go up to him and discuss what kind of fight or training you'd like to do. Maybe you're only feeling 50% that day, and you'd like to do more form sparring. That's totally fine. Communication is the big key here. One of the big things we really wanted to emphasize when we founded San Diego Sabers is that if you want to participate, you'll be more than able to. None of our classes cost anything, it's all free. Just come and hang out, and if you like it, participate. Welcome to San Diego Sabers and the first part of your training.